In Canada, the only thing as important as ice hockey is the maple. So last fall, I ended up in Algonquin Park in Ontario and saw some pretty amazing views. And yet, the neighboring province of Quebec did not want to concede that quickly and pitched me the notion of their king of foliage trips. And as I was approaching this village, I was quickly blown away by how beautiful everything is. And it is at that exact moment I knew that this will be a very special destination. And let's begin with a walk around the town. Contrary to my belief, Mont Tremblant on this weekend was completely jam-packed with people from all around the country, even though it is mostly famous for being a ski resort. So you can imagine how surprised I was when I saw none of the snow and all of the people. I guess their foliage is just as famous. And besides the typical touristy things catered to a typical ski amateur from the big city, it also has this really neat shop that sells beaver tails. No, these are not the actual beaver tails. That would be a completely different kind of Canadian meal. These are basically just flattened donuts. And I got mine covered with chocolate and banana. And there is also a mini gondola ride that takes you from the southern end of the town all the way to the northern end. And I kinda do not want to admit that I actually took it 6 times back and forth. And it is totally because I want to admire the foliage as much as possible, and definitely not because it is free. Growing up in Asia, there really aren't many things that I like more than crowds. But perhaps getting away from the crowds might even top the list. In just a few minutes walk from the center, I was completely alone in the wooded ski slopes. And I quickly found myself by the side of a small stream, trickling down the cold mountain water from upper slopes, bringing all of the leaves that have fallen in the woods and twirling them in a maelstrom of gold, red, orange, and yellow. And it is as dreamy as it sounds. But as I was enjoying my newfound solitude, I heard quite a lot of rustling in the woods, and I quickly found out the culprit of my disturbance. And I guess I wouldn't mind a new friend here in town. And that night, the Tonga Lumina light show put a different spin into the foliage woods that I've seen during the day. But the real adventure began the next morning as I hopped onto the gondola heading all the way to the mountain peak. normally serving ski enthusiasts in the winter, in this season it is the closest way to get to the heaven of falling leaves. And needless to say, I was quickly accompanied by all kinds of gorgeous scenery. Looking down into the valley, accompanying the lake are layers upon layers of red and gold. But quickly I realized that I was slowly ascending into the clouds, and the visibility dropped to nothing within the blink of an eye. And I might as well represent the view at the peak with this gray square, because it is literally the same. But I was too stubborn and Asian to waste my money and go back down, so I sat down in the chalet and patiently waited.
1 hour later. 2 hours later. 3 hours later.
But luckily, after seeming an eternity, the clouds finally opened up and allowed me a fantastic view down there into the valley. And abruptly, my eyes were painted a golden red. In my entire view of the rolling hills, all the way to the horizon, are full of burning red, bright orange, and golden yellow. There was a limited supply of all of the colors, and the only regret I have is not having enough words to describe this beauty. After taking in all of the views that my camera and my brain can take in, of course I need to find more excuses to linger up here in the mountains instead of going back straight down. So I decided to embark on a little hike of sorts and walked around the ridgeline. And it eventually led me to a different skiing lift that comes from a completely different side of the mountains. And since I was at the highest point of the entire mountain range, I could see all the way down into Mother Nature and all of her infinite wisdom, full of dotted colors that simply blew me away. Oh wow, what a beautiful hike, eh? And I really hope that you enjoyed this portion of the trip. And if you would like, you can hit the like button beneath me. That would really help me out. And oh wait, hold up. I think the gondola closes at 5. The last one runs at 5, goes down. It's 3:58. Okay, I gotta start running. So the big bad wolf huffed and puffed and tried his hardest to make it back the 3-kilometer trail within 1 hour. And luckily I managed to get back to the chalet just to see the longest line I've ever seen for any transportation. And yup, you can see it starting up there all the way down and down and down and down. But I guess all of us were just waiting to see a gorgeous sunset on our way back to town. Oh my god, look at that view! That is all of my adventures here in Mont Tremblant. But I'm not done yet. The trip continues to the biggest city in the province, the glorious city of Montreal. Canada's French side has always been a little piece of Europe here in North America, and there is no way I can miss out on this major Quebecois city. And I even have an unusual friend down there. So why don't you hop onto the car and join me on my ride all the way down to Montreal? Well, I guess this time is for real. Thank you so much for joining me on this leg of the journey. And if you like this video, please consider clicking the like button beneath me and join me in my next leg of the trip by clicking the subscribe button, okay? Oh, look at that maple. Wow, so beautiful. All right, I'll see you around, okay?